This is the Nostaljunk Podcast, where one person's junk is another person's childhood. I'm Matt McGrath.
And I'm Kyle Smith. Join us as we take a deep dive into your pop culture consciousness. All right, everybody, welcome back. Nostaljunk Podcast presents What the Flick? What we're doing here is we're going to be watching a movie that one of us remembers fondly from our childhood and one of us has never even seen, let alone heard of. And this one, for me, is actually both. Tonight, we're going to be watching Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam, starring the great Jim Varney. You might know him as Ernest from such films as Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Scared Stupid, and many others. I have never heard of this movie ever. And I've definitely seen the cover, though. I remember browsing, the old Jumbo videos, the Rogers videos, back when I was, younger. And so all I can describe, I see Ernest. Has a hand over his head. He has what appears to be some kind of crazy, Dracula gown. He has just a skeleton. Anyways, it's just, I remember seeing this photo as a kid, but I've definitely never even, I don't even know what this movie's about. I've definitely never seen it. So I'm just going to read the box here. It says, okay, here we go. Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam. The funniest thing since the Depression. From his neon-lit cave, Dr. Otto is on the verge of attaining his deranged dream of world domination. Can that bubblehead Lance Sterling stop the diabolical scientist with 15 fingers? Is Otto really your old buddy Ernest? Will those wicked wenches ruin their beautiful manicures? If Lance can unravel the riddle without wrinkling his nose, if the pirate's iguana can talk, if you can spell Otto's name backwards, hold on to your brain and let his mayhem of a movie unhinge you. Wow, a lot of sentences there that just make no sense, Matt.
That's correct.
So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Here we go. 91 minutes. What year is this made?
I believe this is 85. Might have been 84, but released in 85. It did go into theaters. Don't know for how long. And a little bit of research on the tape, the cassette, the tape that you have in your hands. It was a 1992 pressing from Good Times Home Video, which I got on a family trip to Maine. And I remember it from a store, which I don't know the name of, but that's fine. It was one of those classic white wire rack music video stores in the mall, and stayed with me the entire trip. And at the 11th hour, my dad goes, "Matt, do you need anything before we go back? Because we're not going to stop anywhere in the morning." So I said, well, you know what? I would really like to own Dr. Otto. So we drove back to that mall, grabbed Dr. Otto. I've had it ever since. Don't know how proud I am about this, but Kyle's in for a real treat. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is going to be amazing. I can't remember the last time I would have seen a movie this cold. Like, in terms of even a movie, you're kind of going in blind nowadays. At least there's previews and there's, interviews, and this movie, to me, literally all I know is the cover. So here we go. Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam.
Do you know the backstory of Ernest, the character?
No, I only know Ernest from Ernest Goes to Camp was big with me, but you're saying this was before Ernest Goes to Camp?
This is a lesser known and lesser appreciated of the Ernest universe. This was actually the first Ernest film. Ernest was a character that was hired by companies or businesses to sell their product in a 30-second TV spot. He was the know-it-all next door who addressed you, the viewer, as the neighbor Vern. And he would offer unsolicited advice about a product or service that you may or may not needed to know about, but since it is an ad, we are subjected to view whatever advertising is presented to us a company to hire Varney to play Ernest was quite wise to the dynamic that exists in advertising. So if you're going to sit there, I want you to watch it, but you might as well have some fun with it too. Ernest became an icon because he was all over the country in these ads, and people saw him several times a day. And they didn't know who he was. He didn't have movies out. He didn't have a TV show. He wasn't merchandise yet. He was just Ernest.
Thankless job, but someone has to do it. Slavery, prepare the Gloom Beam.
Yes, sir.
So here we are in Dr. Otto's lair. It's basically the equivalent of Parts Unknown. We don't know where this really is. It's in some sort of swampy marsh of some dystopian future, surrounded by neon lasers and stalactites, and so 80s looking, and it's amazing. We're not really sure what's going on with his costume. He has... It's almost like if you're a wrestling fan, you would recognize the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom. Their big shoulder pads with the spikes as they came to the ring. And it's just ridiculous, and it's amazing.
He's got a robot with a happy face.
It's like a cross between C-3PO and Boba Fett.
Travel out against the target.
Scratch their ass?
That was the robot.
Oh, it was a robot.
Magnetic impulses on credit cards.
You know, the robot that could scratch his own ass.
Registered. The economy will collapse. Credit will be gone. Money will be worthless. No one will escape the excruciating pain. Helpless, homeless children.
So I see Dr. Otto has a hand on his head, and it appears to actually now it just moves. So it's a real hand, which means that there had to be somebody behind Jim Varney at all times putting his hand on his head.
Electronically cash a check.
It's another part of him that can emote.
I can take care of all your banking needs. I can take your credit.
I can't believe it. We're rich.
So the whole goal of the Gloom Beam is to drain the world's economy. So money is worthless, and he wants to basically dominate the world by bringing it down to worthlessness through monetary funds. That's my favorite part. Look at the mailbox. Like, who's sending him mail? Like, look at this set. Look. And look at the top of the mountain is the top of Otto's head. Right? The finger. Watch the finger. There it goes. Go shoot. Yeah, buddy.
Look at it. Look at it. How it
All right, so here's a shot of the arm and hand on top of his head being just a prosthetic for the purposes of him moving around like this. There's nobody behind him.
Cincinnati, of course, the financial capital.
And as you can see in the background, there's the infamous changing coffin for this movie. Not sure what that's doing.
Not here, Doctor. Over to the left.
Really, as you watch this movie, this is a launching pad and almost like an experiment of that you will see later in all of the Ernest movies, the kids show Hey Vern, It's Ernest, which I was a huge fan of. And this is where it kind of starts.
Like a glorified audition reel.
Yeah, it's a portfolio.
So here's the shot of the Cincinnati Bank and Trust, home of Speedy Buck. Speedy Buck was the ATM that dispensed way too much money to that couple.
Men, the dilemma we face is unequaled in the history of Cincinnati Bank and Trust. All of the computer tapes in the accounting department have either been erased or scrambled.
So
Checking accounts and
here's
deposits
a
vanished.
classic boardroom
Bank loans lost.
with a bunch of suits sitting around, and they're discussing the devastating blow to the world's economy that's incurring right now. And oh, he's hit Wall Street. There goes. Oh, yeah, there goes everybody.
Hodgkins, demonstrate our problem with your display.
The editing and the production of this is just so unique, but it's very 80s. Now, I'm not sure if this movie is not well appreciated because, as it is an 80s flick, and all of the marketing and advertising featured a picture of Varney as Ernest to basically promote the character of Dr. Otto. Ernest is so minor in this movie. So I think maybe some people might have felt disappointed in this movie, but I think objectively speaking, in the 80s, you have a wide array of zany, wacky movies that exist in horror, fantasy, sci-fi, B, C, even Z movies that are loved. This is up there.
Observe.
This is definitely up there. And it's up there and it's out there.
That's the diorama he put together.
What was that?
That's the financial economy collapsing.
Economic indicators: yellow line, blue line, red line.
I don't know how we got along before the credit.
This actor, he was one of the main sidekick characters on pretty well all of the early Ernest projects.
Next time, use the
That's
cell service aisle.
that's Bobby of Chuck and Bobby. That's the most he's talked in all of the Ernest movies. I think the next time you hear him talk is in Ernest Goes to Jail, when he draws his weapon on the Nash, the evil Ernest character.
I'll be on the air in a few. Make her.
The slave Willie character will reappear in the Hey Vern, It's Ernest series as Willie the homemade robot. He's a mad scientist. He's evil. He is taking over the world. He's destroying the world's economy. He's delivering a riddle coming from parts unknown, essentially. He's a Batman villain.
Thanks to the miracle of tissue damaging microwave, which
I love all of this.
sterility and cancer.
Obviously, I'm not trying to draw similarities, but this is very reminiscent from my youth, when I was also a huge fan of the '89 Batman.
And if you don't answer
That
this
scene
riddle
when
correct,
the Joker takes over
you have exactly
all of the TVs in Gotham,
it will mean
he will be involved in the parade,
That's me knowing.
and he will be dispensing money.
Okay, trivia freaks, you ready? Because I'm only going to say it once.
Again, I'm not trying to draw similarities. I'm just saying, from a young mindset, very similar.
To the very last.
It's like Max Headroom.
Great reference.
When all the world's commerce will be put in a bind from the evil that lurks where the sun never shines. It is I, Dr. Otto von Schnick.
The drunks in the bar are like, I don't care.
Plague on you, this trick. But who's Dr. Otto? You may well ponder, while all your
I ponder.
magnetic cash is squandered. It's he who had an eye and yet couldn't see. It's he who served bouillabaisse when he was.
Don't Get Poop on Your Shoes was the alternate title. They probably needed some time to come to the final title being Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam. I guess Dr. Otto was too short, and Don't Get Poop on Your Shoes might have been a little too abstract.
Put another quarter in and try another play.
How mad would you be as a kid trying to play an arcade and then Otto takes over with this riddle?
This guy just looks confused. He's like shaking his head.
He's a madman.
That's literally how we all feel watching
He's a
this.
madman. He obviously has no respect for anything. Human life, social values, the bottom line, nothing. There is one person who can stop this fiend, this paragon of evil. One man with the skill,
Please say it's Ernest.
ingenuity, and cunning to stop this menace to the free enterprise.
So here we go. Here comes the hero, the white knight of the movie.
Gentlemen,
He's a bit of a
Sterling
dunce.
and his personal secretary, Doris Talbot.
No, not Ernest, but Lance Sterling.
No idea.
Sterling, I'm sure that you and Doris are aware of the grave situation we face.
He's got like
The whole
a
financial
Miami
fiber of this
Vice,
country is at stake.
Yes, sir.
Indiana
I was
Jones.
just gonna say, yeah, his hat says Indiana Jones, but his jacket says Miami Vice.
the nation.
Gentlemen,
He's like
Our noble
the
institutions on the verge
the
of
good
collapse.
American boy, right?
And he's got his
soon no one will be
sleeves
able to
rolled up to
afford
his
food or
elbows.
clothing. Riots will break out.
The
A
scarf,
wholesale slaughter of
popped
cosmetic
collar
products
on
will
his
begin.
blazer.
The streets will run red with
Their
blood
body
and
language says
stockbrokers
they are
suicide.
not buying
And to top it off,
this Lance Sterling character. Like, where's he even coming from, and why is he being called upon?
Riddle and bring this tasteless
I understand why they're choosing this type of figure to go after Otto, but
champion.
how do they know who
I you
Sterling
will,
is?
Lance. I have every confidence in your ability to
This
seek out this money
is a
man,
question that we don't need to
whoever he may
ask,
lurk,
because this
and to put
movie
an end to him
is Dr. Otto.
and his infernal machine.
Sometimes I watch these kind of
Do you gentlemen have any
movies,
questions
and
for Mr.
I
Sterling?
feel like bad
Yes.
for the actors. Not because they were in a bad
Sterling,
movie, but because
if
they thought
you
it
could
was
be
like going to be their
any
big
animal you
big break.
wanted,
You know, it's like this
what
is
would it
my
be?
this is my time to shine.
No, that's
What's even worse is I don't think there was any implied big break with this.
It's who?
Mr. Lance, cutesy, butsy, never gets poop on his shoes.
Poop on his shoes.
He's
He
cute.
never gets poop on his shoes
Like the plague, like
because he's
boils,
so
like persistent itching.
He can save my day anytime.
Mr. Clean Room.
Never bought clear
Never had to buy Clearasil. It makes me think of when Homer says, "What's wrong with Flanders? Something wrong? Can we think of something wrong with Flanders?" And he's got a bunch of old paint cans in his garage. Old painty can Ned, Mr. Clean Shoes.
Town on the same day.
Mr. and Mrs. Sterling. Little Lance is the favorite of the whole hospital. All the nurses are just in love with
Lance Sterling's birth parents being presented.
He's got his
Baby Lance.
Oh,
I love that the dad is smoking a pipe
mother.
in
father. I'm so
in the hospital.
my parents.
oh, he's got your manners.
Yeah, lots of use of white here. Not so much white here. So here comes baby Otto.
Madame von Schnick, I have terrible news
Oh, no.
for you. It lived. Take it away! Take it away!
Looks like something out of like basket case.
What's in the basket? Alright, send it back.
We later we'll see Ernest reprise this full size, full grown adult head attached to a baby body in the Hey Vern, It's Ernest TV series, but not as Otto. Definitely a little kinder.
Oh, now I can begin to unravel life's mysteries for myself.
Gag me, this.
Gag me with a shovel.
This is the best Christmas ever. And you're the best parents anyone could ever have. I've got something for you. Open it.
How do we convey being just a proud American?
What it could be.
You know what? This movie now enters my non-Christmas movie list.
White House.
I made it out of toothpicks in my spare time.
He made the White House out of toothpicks in his spare time.
Someday,
And look at his thumb. He's got it bandaged with a ribbon tied around it.
world a better place for all people.
I couldn't help but think, like, what's the ribbon? Is it a reminder that it was like a learning experience?
Or he's just an idiot and he decorated his thumb because it's Christmas.
That requires multiple viewings to go that deep.
Make you blow your beats in the snow.
Father, can we say it just once? Since it's Christmas?
Dad?
Sure, son. Since it's Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic.
So is Dr. Otto anti-American? He's anti-capitalist for sure.
Oh, well, I think Dr. Otto von Schnick does not really sound American.
Maybe he won't come back. Maybe
Yeah, this is his family.
away.
It's terrifying.
Is he doing like it's like a Christmas Carol where is he just visiting? He's going through his life and visiting the different versions of.
Oh, let's open it.
This Otto creeping in through the window was always very, very unnerving to me as a child. Yeah, maybe it's the ghost white face with the dark eyelashes. And this part here, like, look at the look on his face. And then disappear. Ugh.
That's scary. Did he blow them? What, were they opening a bomb?
Yeah, he gave them a bomb.
His parents?
The best parents anyone ever had.
Parents anyone ever had.
I mean, to me, this movie doesn't work without Vern. Hands down. Even an actor like Jim Carrey could pull this off, but oh my god.
Where's this cave? Where's this lair? Look at this friggin' Cadillac that they're driving around in.
I've read it a dozen times, and I still don't understand it.
Now there's
What's this guy's name again?
Yeah, usually really good at
I hate
poker
Lance Sterling.
Well, maybe Dr. Otto doesn't want to be found.
Don't be ridiculous, Doris. What good would it do
Even
to
his
have a
friend
riddle
is
so
fed
hard
up
no
with-
one could solve it?
Oh my god, Doris hates him.
Sometimes
I'm
you
on
just
Doris's
don't
team.
think.
Big Team
Could you
Doris.
bring the cooler? Could use a cold drink.
The world is on the brink of chaos. We're trying to save it. Somehow the cooler slipped my mind.
What's great about this dynamic is that this man is so blatantly oblivious that you actually kind of want Otto to win. However, I do want to root for Doris, but she might be also just as much of an idiot to just stick with him. I can't help but think all those little moments like that. It's just, is that Varney just
Do you
riffing?
suppose that could be Mr. Potato Head?
Likely.
It doesn't feel right, Lance.
Well, what do you think it means?
Well, I don't know.
So, it could be Mr. Potato Head.
Yes, Lance, I suppose it could.
I thought
He
so.
who has an eye and yet he can't see. Lance thinks it's
So you
Mr. Potato
think
Head.
You will stop me. You think I'll just roll over and play dead?
Oh, please,
So,
Mr. Stan.
where does one go to dream up this?
I want to do
A
better.
hand on the head, this like mirrored collar, this like neon post-apocalyptic lair.
More
The hand on the head is definitely Adam's family. You know, I can just see that, but the costume itself is pretty wild. I don't even know what it is. It's like a tinsel, like a spider web made of metal. I'm not sure what it really is.
It's like if you took all the reject Christmas ornaments and put them on Otto.
No, I'm a gourmet cook.
It shows.
There is not an ounce of fat on my body.
I'm a true American.
That doesn't even make any sense. I'm on the metric system. There's not an ounce of fat on my body.
For Mr. Perfect.
Quickly, Willie, into the changing coffin.
We have work to do. The changing coffin is your favorite toy, Doctor.
Here we go.
Today, we will transform you into
Look, okay, what am I seeing here? I see a xylophone, a typewriter, a bunch of light bulbs, a couple clocks.
And actually transforms your features, transmortifies your speech.
This is a good study for film students. Not that the movie is the study. It's you don't need a whole lot to
Your supreme commander.
to get things going in a movie.
Spotted.
Damn it. Oh, good. Then we can start to
Explain.
our trap.
She just keeps filling in his lines for him. That's great.
So now we're starting to learn, like, Jim probably just wanted to make this movie so he could build, like, his portfolio of characters.
And also just hang around with very beautiful women.
Yes, especially Rhonda Sue. Rhonda Sue! Yeah, that's her name.
Oopsie. Car trouble. Doris, did you bring your AAA card?
Lance, I don't think this is covered.
Well, let's find a phone and call a service
I like how he
station.
gets out her door and couldn't get out his own.
We will ruin these rims
God, Lance is such a
driving
bitch.
on flat tires.
He just... Yeah, he's Vaughn. Mayor Vaughn from Jaws. He's got that aesthetic to him. He's got his khakis. It's khaki. It's khakis, Ricky. Look, this kid is dead. Look at it. It says Run Hardtack Daycare. This is the daycare. That's Doris and Lance that they're beating on. Those two? Yeah. How do they know who they are? Otto's on it.
Those youngsters look like they're having
Otto's like
themselves the time of
young
their life.
mercenary
Physical
army.
training.
Yeah. He transformed into Rudd Hardtack.
So much to a
And so,
well-balanced
yeah, keep up.
Lance,
I'd like to point out that this is probably this classifies itself as like a forgettable movie that you won't forget.
Very good description. I definitely won't forget. I might not know what's going on, but I definitely won't forget it.
Is there a phone around here?
Look at this blatant idiot.
Good form. Feet apart.
There's literally dummies of. They're all closing in on him right now.
Somebody deserves
They're like, oh, the
a lot
guy
of
we've been
credit
training to
for
kill
the
is
fundamentals
literally
here,
in front of us.
And I certainly look forward to meeting them.
That ruddy fool. I can't believe he just strode.
Remember the Alamo.
Doesn't he know every shop
I also like that he's got a knife
looking for that
pierced through his hat.
scum?
It's just resting on the brim.
Mr. Sterling has been politically inactive since his unsuccessful Senate race.
Don't you ruddy interrupt me, you ruddy liberal wimpy piece of ruddy tin, you what?
Yes, sir, Doctor.
Well, ladies, let's go meet this
Red.
terrorist that calls himself Mr. Lance Sterling, eh?
You know, when I was about your age, my dad gave me a BB gun. But the barrel should always point up for safety's sake. These are really wonderfully trained youngsters. I'm impressed.
Come to challenge me face to face, have you, Mr. Lance Sterlinsky, or whatever you call
Ready.
yourself now, eh, what?
No, we just want to use your phone. See, we had car trouble, and, well, my AAA is
You won't
expired.
be using your
Ready.
three-letter code words to your
Ready.
commie comrades in the bush, what?
No, not that. No, we were driving, see, trying to figure out this riddle.
Put this
Ready.
commie scum in the
Guest.
room over there. We'll play a few little games with it.
Ready?
I really like his tick.
What?
This does not look like
What's
a phone
going
booth.
on here?
The phone booth has those glass panels, the little metal things.
Like, as much of an idiot as he is, he's really not picking up this. He's in this, like, bamboo cage with an already fully exposed
I'm
skeleton.
looking for something to help us get out of here.
Right.
Whatever they had didn't help them much. Now, look, Doris. They're gonna be expecting us to break soon, to snap under the pressure. But we are tougher than that. We're Americans. Let's keep our morale high. Hey, I know.
Idiot.
How about a song?
Carpenter.
If I were a
And you
carpenter,
were a lady.
and you were a lady,
And
would you marry me?
is he making that song up just as he goes?
It's not the first time you'll hear this song.
Oh no.
And now for the economic news.
These breaks remind me of the jump cuts in RoboCop. Back to you, Mike.
Mr. Rutherford, the entire city has erupted. People are going crazy. The whole country's in an uproar. Mobs are storming all the banks, burning their checkbooks in protest. They want their money, and everything is scrambled up. This Dr. Otto von Schnick has reshuffled the deck, and Lance Sterling is nowhere to be found.
Cut him down. Otto, or hardtack. When should I play? A little spin the barrel.
I want to find out what else she's been in, because that line delivery makes it feel like, yeah, it was probably written that way, but I also feel like it could not have been. Where she goes, Otto or hardtack, trying to keep his secret.
Yeah, she kind of has a Daryl Hannah vibe, like in Blade Runner or something.
Well, I'll see you in your
Ready?
comrade.
I always loved Jim Varney's Australian accent. Russian roulette? Deer Hunter? I mean, how dare I compare those two films? She's like, why am I here? Why am I playing Russian roulette with these idiots?
So this music is very reminiscent of the
Pink.
Ernest TV series, Hey Vern, It's Ernest. Especially this theme right here. Boom, 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 boom. Very, very similar to what was used in the Hey Vern, It's Scary Things episode.
So IMDb has a 5.8 out of 10. Google users have it at 92%. Man.
She always gets to order first in the restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
She always
4
gets
people
the
that rate it.
window seat
Yeah,
on the
90 or
plate.
above.
Now I want to go first.
Yeah, I'm with you, Red Heart Attack. I like the auto and pounding in the background. I think it's probably gunfire, but it comes across as pounding. But in any case, I like that. Nice touch.
Even that kid is just like, I hate this guy.
Go on, Trotsky, drop the hammer.
That's not Barbara Crampton, is it? No.
Wouldn't you have been tipped off that this is likely Otto? White Knights of Cincinnati are just as easily duped as the citizens of Metropolis. It only takes a pair of glasses on Superman to become Clark Kent. Nobody knows.
What are they firing at? He was. If they're trying to fire at him, he was literally right in front of them.
What's the matter, Doris? Don't you want your turn?
Was he changing back?
He got away. He got away. You let him
I like the AI breakdown here.
Specifically directed at capturing Lance Sterling. It would be logical to assume that, as you say, I let him get away. I can't believe you said that. Gloom Beam, do you believe what we machines put up with? I mean, I did everything.
Is it? Oh wait! I just had a moment of.
I did everything.
Yeah, is that? Yeah, if that's the right word. Is it Jim Varney's hand on top of his own head? It could be.
My favorite part about this is that even in the end of, I understand it's not.
I saw your yearbook. Lance was class president.
Glenn Patak plays Otto's head hand, and he is credited as an actor more than the other actors in the movie.
Please tell me is that his only IMDb credit? Click on Glenn Patak for a sec. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's all Ernest. Yeah.
If he's the writer, then this idiot was the one that was like, hey, can I play the hand on your head?
There's Mr. Potato Head.
I like this pseudo heavy metal.
Much better than last year. Forks, very good. Nice and
Much better than last year.
Let's hear it, Frank.
Failure.
Why men are smarter.
What's under the sheet, weirdo? What, under the sheet, weirdo? Only the greatest invention since nerve gas. Only a major breakthrough in the relationship between man and machine. That's all, weenie. We'll show them, won't we, Billy?
Very educational girl.
Proud of.
Did you paint that yourself?
Yeah.
No one cares that an adult man just threw a kid across the room.
What I have done for my science fair project, Miss Apple.
I'd also like to point out that Otto and Sterling have played themselves in different age groups.
Our most sacred right.
They're either in,
right to vote.
yeah, they're in high school
I believe,
here.
Miss Apple, and honored judge, that each and every one of us has a duty to take a stand whenever the opportunity arises. As a proud American, and one who truly loves his country, I wanted to make the
Really like the bell bottoms on Otto here.
As President Kennedy said, it is not
I
what
wonder
your
if,
country can do for you.
you know, maybe I'm looking too deep into it, and I probably shouldn't, but, you know, we saw Otto peering in through the windows when he was younger, and you could see that the shoulders were built up, so implying that he has this gear on. But I wonder if the gear is almost like a part of him that's growing. Because here he is a touch older, and it's already starting to...
Let's play.
Some of his foliage is starting to protrude through the clothing.
Hello, I'm your new D9 voice-activated robot. I can walk and talk like a real person. I can perform.
So he just paralyzed somebody, punctured a lung.
Not the pork.
I'm happy now.
Little children in China don't get pork.
Why did she only have one set of nails on her hand?
That Otto has no respect for anything.
This is one of my favorite parts here. I love this. This is so funny. When Otto starts narrating.
Your project next. Watch it.
What's that?
Notice, if you will, the robot's lifelike movements. its ability to understand spoken commands and a vocabulary of nearly 700 words, such as
Attack, Willie! Search and destroy! Dora, Dora, Dora!
Really is a most impressive experiment. Well, I hope this won't sway your judgment. After all, if I know Otto, he's found a way to cheat. And besides, he has no school spirit. Otto,
So he's like lumbering through, like just destroying everything in its path.
Exercise our most sacred right. Let's vote and vote and vote.
la 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 la.
One machine, one vote.
I just pulled the lever in this end. Lance, this spoof may have been a good idea, but it needs a lot of work to make it safe.
But it wasn't me, Miss Apple. It was Otto.
Lance! Be a man. Don't blame others for your mistakes, especially those less fortunate.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
But Otto,
Those are the good old days.
So, did you win the science fair?
In a way.
She has like a dryer,
Special scholarship.
like a dryer duct or whatever coming out of her left boob.
The humans come.
Like she only has half a bra on.
I found them, Exalted One. They're in the deep woods.
So I looked her up, and like, there's her name is Tina Goetz. The only other acting credit that I saw was that she was in another Jim Varney movie called Fast Food, which I've never seen, and I think we should. After watching this Jim, any non-Ernest movie, it's got to be good. Now he's a pirate.
Hey, look. It's a light.
So what is the point of him changing characters exactly?
He's trying to stop Lance.
That should hold you in.
Oh, now I get it.
We wouldn't want her to wiggle free. And Miss
Hey, he does have a live iguana on his head.
breathing, stinking scourge of the wetlands known as
I like the character of the dump. And you know, and a lot of the props and the characters will surface again in other Ernest projects, but much like Willie, he turns up in the Ernest series. The dump costume
If this is your idea of some elaborate
was the
sorority
boogeyman
initiation,
that
I
appears
think
at the end of the
Scott
Scary
will let
Things episode.
Don't look now, Polly, but methinks some fresh bait just swam into me bucket.
Now, I cannot
To
believe
me bucket.
that this young lady voluntarily participates in this type of shenanigans. Now, fun is fun, but this is going too far.
So you think me lads have gone a bit too far?
Hey, Jim. It's not Jim, it's Lance. Lance Sterling. And, well, yes, I do think this barbaric ceremony must come to a stop. Don't you agree, Doris? See there? We all agree.
You'll not be interrupting me chances of catching the dump now, would you, Jim?
The dump?
Aye, the dump, Jim. The dump. Bring him along.
So, if you just noted, Lance was not a big fan of the breath that was coming out of the pirate's mouth.
Not my idea of hospitality.
They're in search of the dump.
I'm sure you agree with that, Mr. Jack. Well, yeah. Oh, now that we're all here, how about a game? How about a riddle?
Okay, now I'll go first, and you see if you can solve it. I tell you what, I've got it written down right in my pocket. If you just
the riddle of the Gloom Beam?
I would really appreciate it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, a little more to the right. Yeah, that's it.
Digging around in his pocket.
Can you open it up for me? Okay. What has an eye but cannot see? Mr. Potato Head.
He's got it, Mr. Potato Head.
He rises! I've caught you now, you lurking garbage bag. The dump
Lurking garbage bag.
dies tonight.
Some of the best parts of this movie is the reusable lines that you've never heard.
That no one has said before or since.
You lurking garbage bag.
Dump would take a shining to you, huh? Aye, that he would. He likes young boys like you, Jim. That he does. 'Cause you're so young and pink and educated.
You wouldn't dare.
You needs to be helping your old mate, Laughing Jack O'Cockney, have his revenge.
Laughing
on that
Jack O'Cockney.
foul-smelling dump that ruined me good eye.
Well,
Wait a minute. He ruined his good eye.
No, Lance.
What's he got now?
It would be good for you, Jim. Aye, that it would.
Yeah, what?
And what would we have for him, Johnny?
It's a Cabana side-by-side freezer! This Cabana holds up to 40 pounds of fruits and vegetables and has a convenient ice maker and water tap, all from Cabana if you help Laughing Jack catch the dump. Back to you, Jack.
Oh, I'm just overwhelmed.
Does that just qualify for what the flick?
What just
We'll
happened
never
right
help you
there?
no matter what.
Doris, the side-by-side freezer we beat.
A side-by-side freezer?
Could hold up to 40 pounds of fruits and vegetables.
So really, it's just a freezer. Oh, here's the dump. Doesn't seem too concerned.
Alex? Is that you, Alex?
Rudy.
Well, I go by Lance now.
So he knows it's Dr. Otto?
Rudy?
Yeah,
No,
Rudy.
the dump
How's it been going out?
knows him.
How's the wife?
Fine.
And the kids?
Okay.
Alex is the
Great.
dump.
Alex, how about getting us loose?
Otto is
Piece of cake.
the pirate, Laughing Jack.
How do you know this
So,
thing?
even though
Once
Lance...
upon a time, a long time ago, I pulled a thorn out of his paw when he was just a baggie.
So Otto thinks that... So Otto's returned back to his lair. He thinks that Lance has been eaten. So he thinks that Lance has been eaten by the dump now. But Lance has foiled his plan because he actually knows the dump, a.k.a. Alex. And he saved him when he was just a baggie.
Total is $3,298,637.23.
I'll take back the pork chops.
Yeah, it's the pork chops that did it. This is great.
Collapses. Pound collapses. Frank collapses.
Frank!
That was the best part of the whole movie.
It's such like a Kids in the Hall Monty Python's bit. Frank collapses. Frank!
The true dimensions of the economic catastrophe the entire world is experiencing will not be known for some time. What is known is that today the Soviet Union declared an end to the use of the ruble as its national currency and declared boiled turnips to be the new coin of the realm. In Denmark, the national sport of cheese wrestling was suspended indefinitely when the price of a single small Gouda rose to 150,000 kolotniks.
So we are traveling in a
Boiled turnip is the new form of currency.
We are either traveling northwest.
This Dr. Otto's plan is really coming together.
Southeast. So
He's a better mad scientist than really the Joker.
back to civilization.
He's already pulled it off.
End to Otto and all his shenanigans. Oh.
Look,
Thanks there, Alex.
he gets the side-by-side freezer.
Watch that slip disc there, buddy. Yeah, that's good. Listen, it is
He goes,
great to
oh,
catch up
yeah,
on
that's
old
good.
times.
With you too.
Yeah. Hey, lunch next week, okay?
Sure.
Same meeting place as always?
Certainly.
Good. Okay. Now, before you go, I know you gotta go. Let me read you something.
Okay.
To stop this horrible, twisted trick, just exchange the poles of old Saint Nick. Mean anything to you?
Doesn't Santa live at the North Pole with all the elves and everything? Don't you think?
So you think that the pole of old Saint Nick is the North Pole?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, me too. Listen, great to see you again.
Good
That
seeing
guy's
you.
such a
Lunch
fucking
next week.
piece of shit.
Same meeting place as always.
It's Doris's
Say hi to the wife
exhale
and
that
kids
it's
for me.
like,
I will.
Take care of yourself.
I get my hair.
Ciao.
What a prince.
So he didn't like Laughing Jack's breath, but he was okay for hanging out with the dump.
But at least my master plan for world conquest is coming along nicely.
I still don't understand it all.
Well, here, Tina, let me show
This is
you.
great.
You see this little object, no larger than your fingernail? Observe.
Oh, I see, Doctor. By starting the blocks, you set up a chain reaction which puts pressure on world commodity markets, which in effect readjust the annual circulation rate of liquid accounts into the liability column. And the Federal Reserve will have to devalue currency in a futile attempt to cope.
Close.
In Washington, D.C., the food riots continued. And in New York City, looters rampaged
doesn't even
through
explain,
the
like,
financial district,
what the right
trying
answer
and
is.
murdering some 24 bankers
So
and
this is one of those moments where I'm like, I watched this as a kid.
In the afternoon.
Oh God! Like he's gun barrel right in the mouth.
Sir, I've been running this through our Centauri Systems XY computer, and it seems to have come up with an interesting twist on all this. Centauri's conclusion is that this Dr. Otto von Schnick is only a menace because we do not control him. If we could persuade von Schnick to be on the board of the bank, or perhaps partners with the bank, we could control the world. Why, thank you, sir.
Well measured.
What's wrong with you guys in intelligence? Why don't you do something about all this?
We've prepared some new scenarios.
The Bay of Pigs?
It could have worked.
There's wonderful Vietnam reports. Do you see a light at the end of this tunnel?
But a bureaucrat.
The economy has gone to hell in a handbasket. You guys didn't see it coming.
We formulated
This could have been a scene from RoboCop.
Character.
I'm sure it's a
It's
break.
the origin story of Agent Smith from The Matrix.
Yeah, right.
You want the password? Green cheese is a mouse's only friend. Mr. President, the economy of this country is on the verge of collapse.
Don't check the time.
Sir, all of the
This
government
movie's
accounting
moving along
figures
just
are wiped
nicely.
clean. The Treasury Department has no idea how much money is being printed, and what's worse,
Most of the senator's expense accounts have vanished from our records.
You mean to tell me we have no idea how much money this country owes or who owes us?
That's correct, sir.
So, in effect, the national debt is wiped out.
You could say that.
That's great! Call a press conference.
I'm tracking them. They're approaching the cliff.
It's stellar acting.
What are you going to do?
I mean, all things aside, Varney is so solid.
Lure him.
Like, he's played multiple roles, and each one feels good.
They will help me, and so will you. I'll lead him to his destruction and crush him like a ripe grape. I hope I'm not out of line.
That arpeggiator. Love it. I want this soundtrack.
Oh, this place is full of mosquitoes. Where are we going, anyway?
You're supposed to be the leader.
Well, I can't do everything. My training is in making command decisions, motivating large numbers of stalwart troops, giving pep talks, that sort of thing.
This guy's got to go.
But I'm hungry. Fish! I can catch fish! I can use this little thorn for a hook! And I can unravel some thread from my sweater for line. Oh, and I can use this little gum wrapper for a lure. Boy, this is fun!
Uh-oh. That chorused 12-string guitar. It reminds me of that, those chords from Wayne's World 2 where he's trying to get to the church. Oh, Jesus God, no.
Something to eat, you just cut and loose without any thought for anybody but yourself.
Now it's turning into like experimental swamp music.
Oh, dear.
Maybe there's another way.
Oh, well, that's it, Doris. Leave me here to save the day, and you go off to find an easier path. Oh, boy, that's typical Doris. Typical of 2 men.
Typical Doris. Shut up.
The real world. And crumble the first time.
Idiot. He's already somehow... Oh my God. So they're gonna pluck away at the one piece of rope that's holding her. But why a door frame? Well, Otto said that she's gonna help him capture Lance.
Nobody's gonna believe this. Little Tina Nelson from White Plains, hanging 1,000 feet off the ground. My makeup's running, my hair's a mess, and I'm gonna die. Why? Because I didn't listen to my mother and fell for a foreign accent with a hand growing out of his head.
Tale as old as time.
Little Tina Nelson from White Plains, New York, everybody. The oldest trick in the book. Nothing like a foreign accent and a hand growing out of the head. What I was going to say was, I like that he's already unraveled most of his sweater to jimmy rig that fishing line, and we saw none of it.
Also, I didn't realize he was balding so bad.
Right, but he was balding when he was a child and in school. If you... Here he comes. So, so he's
I
hooked.
now and miss the whole rest of my life.
Look at him. He's like...
That's the way life goes. For little Tina Nelson from White Plains. Oh, this thing's about to fall.
No, let me get out of the way first.
Let me get out of the way.
Now I'll never be a nurse.
A nurse? Oh, that is a noble goal. And one that makes good use of a woman's natural tendencies to wait. To change dirty linen. Yes, whatever your current problems may be.
That's horrible.
You're obviously a good girl. Not like Charlotte Delaney, Jr., who couldn't be satisfied with a law practice, though she had to get into college.
There's Doris.
I should be a senator today. Hadn't been for that debate.
What?
What?
You saved me.
You were never in any real trouble. Fear's a phantom that clouds the mind.
I love it when you talk metaphysical.
Yeah, I'm with you, Doris. What a buffoon.
Oh, great. Food at last. You know, my blood sugar is at an all-time low.
So, that moron of morality has taken our bait.
That moron of morality.
Monk or nothing. Sterling, you won't get away this time. Get out of my way, goddamn. Are
they having sex? So many metal objects in this frame. And is he just in underwear?
To the changing coffin.
That chicken was good, but on a balanced diet is important. Bird can't fly on a broken wing, as my mother always said.
I just imagine the whole crew on this production just constantly shaking their head.
Yeah. It's like, at some point, you realize that all the segments have to come together and come to an end.
The verbal part of my SATs, and I always did well in English. The math part always got me, though.
Me too. I never understood any of that stuff. Quantum theory, astrophysics, binary trigonomics. It made me feel so dumb.
Well, we have something in common. Doris? Doris. We need to stay together, okay?
What the hell is this guy's problem?
Well, it looks like we're on the right path.
Just
after
stay
all.
on the path that winds.
Something to eat.
Boy, me too.
And follow it to Auntie Nelda's.
Well, why would I think
Do you know
that?
who Auntie Nelda is?
We're miles from
Jim
civilization.
Barney in an old
Middle
lady
of an
wig?
impenetrable forest.
Correct.
Following the only path anywhere, and watching Auntie Nelda signs pop out of nowhere. Why would I think this was a trick?
Good.
Why was there a lion roar just now?
Because they're in the jungle.
Work. That's all
Right? That's it. Who just goes to jail?
It's like the stuff.
Stupid.
He creates work for me. I ask him to do a few simple tasks. Water the flowers. What happens? I end up watering the flowers. Well, you little darling, you're blooming. Here. I hope you strangle on it. You're lucky to get it. Little flowers in China don't even get water. Hello,
It's the second
travelers.
China deprived reference.
Boy, this is out of
Pork was the first one.
Nice.
Welcome to Auntie Nelda.
Boy,
Come right
this
in.
is our lucky day.
Time for dinner.
She seems real nice.
We're going to have a little
We don't
dance
have a
tonight.
chance.
We're going to
Oh,
meet
you
lots
just
of
broke the
nice
fourth
guys.
wall.
We'll have
Someone's in the kitchen, it's really. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the
Come on, sockhead. They're waiting to eat.
Bouillabaisse cannot be hurried, Doctor.
Wait a minute. It's he who serves bouillabaisse when he was she. There's the riddle.
Now, battery.
When he was she,
It really needs a few
serving
for the
bouillabaisse.
ingredients to marry their essence.
That's a part of the riddle.
Now, all of a sudden, I've
He
got a Julius
is she.
to deal with.
And they're serving bouillabaisse.
Doctor, I'm not breaking my...
We're really breaking it.
No, this is no trick. What would make me think this was a trick?
All right, Miss Grump, just be that way. She'll feel much better after a hot meal and some sleep.
So will I.
So pick up those fingers there, bolthead, and mop up the rest of that oil. Please forgive any disturbance. I don't suppose I have to tell you how hard it is to find suitable help nowadays.
I know just what you mean.
Smells yummy. I am starved.
So me too.
It's from an old family recipe.
Aren't you eating?
No, dear. I'm on a water diet.
Well, I hope you're taking a vitamin supplement.
I try to take care of myself. My son, Jaime, he never took care of himself. He didn't weigh 90 pounds soaked in paving tar.
Well, I'm famished. What's in this anyway?
Oh, just some fresh herbs. And things from the garden.
Bonjour.
This is the incompetent I mentioned earlier.
Wine, mademoiselle?
Please. I hope it's called duck.
You would.
And you, madam?
None for me, thanks.
It's an excellent year. It's audacious and yet endearingly understated.
Well, I usually don't drink, but, well, tonight feels special.
No, thanks.
I would consider it a personal insult to my hospitality if you did not drink a toast to my dead son, Jaime.
What's the matter with you, Doris?
Nothing funny
Smells
going
like
on
an
here.
excellent year. A bit presumptuous, but not too brash.
Sort of fizzy. Tickles my nose.
Oh, she is so cute.
Why did you kiss her earlier?
Come on, Doris.
All right, but I've got a bad feeling.
To those weary travelers who came so unexpectedly and brought with them such happiness for a tired old woman.
I like how the robot has a colander
You don't
for
know
the top
what
of
it
his
means
head.
to me to
And a
have
mustache.
company.
Oh,
Me,
yes. Well, because
a
he's
tired
the
old woman with a dead son.
he's the maitre
who's
d'.
no longer alive.
Well, I guess you don't get many people here.
You
When I
build
was
a little
5,
restaurant,
down the street was a
you try to
convenience
make a way
store
for
that
yourself
obviously
in
had
your
a
years. And what
video
happens?
rental section,
They move
and
to
this was one of the tapes that I would get mom and dad to rent for me. I remember the cover. It looked a little different than the one that I have now. The one I have now was from 92. This movie came out around 86, so I would say anytime between 86 and 89, I would have rented this version of it. But anyway, the box, you can find it as a alternate cover for the PAL European release of this in VHS only. It's an artist rendition of an expanded cover, as it were.
Now that's
I'll post the image when I find it. It reminds me of a riff of the Nightmare on Elm Street style paintings. Not as detailed, but very cool nonetheless. It's different. If you're a collector or an appreciator of all things Varney and Ernest, this would definitely be a proud addition to your set.
Yeah.
Like, when the box said the funniest thing since the Depression,
She is very much mistaken.
there wasn't kidding.
I don't think that's what she
Set
had
the
in
bar
mind.
very high.
Why are we tied up? Where's Tina?
What is going on here?
Let me put it to you gently. I think this is a trick.
Not again. I can't stand it when people take advantage of my trusting nature.
Well, it takes all kinds.
There was something strange about Auntie Nelda, though. And my father told me never to eat in restaurants where the prices weren't on the menu.
Well, it's too late for that now.
It's actually pretty good advice. It's probably pretty expensive if the prices aren't on the menu.
Right, yeah.
My wrists are beginning to chafe.
And, you know, Gordon Ramsay says that you shouldn't include pictures of your food on the menu.
Glad to see you.
Don't be.
My favorite Chinese
She did it
restaurants
with Auntie Nelda.
have the pictures.
Oh, and we had so much in common.
I'll always remember you, Lance. Here's looking at you, kid.
What's gonna happen to us?
Auntie wants to freeze-dry you and use your body parts to feed her army of zombies.
Well, at least we won't be wasted. I signed the organ donor card on the back of my driver's license.
Can you just stand by and let her turn him into part of an army of zombies?
Can you do that to the zombies? Basically, I'm not a very good person.
I don't believe that for a minute.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
I've lied and cheated and swindled and stolen. Even killed
Stolden?
people.
Well, sure.
Swindled and
Who
stoled?
doesn't have a few things in their past they'd rather forget? And besides, I think they sort of add character.
How can you do this?
I don't know. Otto, Auntie Nelda, she'd be so mad if I'd let you go.
Well, look at it this way. I saved you from the killer chickens. I helped you through the forest. I tried to open up and relate to you as one human being to another. I gave you makeup tips. You owe me this.
I've never done anything good before.
It's not so bad.
No, it's really easy once you get used to it. Why, there are times when I can't stop doing good things. Yeah, it's like eating peanuts.
So, Willie, for all your obvious incompetence, the bouillabaisse was excellent. And the wine was immaculate.
Gee, thanks, Doc.
Your service, as usual, was atrocious, but the food was good.
Wasn't a total loss.
Oh, Tina. Saying goodbye to Mr. Perfect, huh?
If you think that you can get away with this, you are very much mistaken.
On the contrary, I have gotten away with this. And as soon as my marginally intelligent assistant prepares the hardware, I'm going to turn you into crusty little fragments of your former selves.
Taking advantage of people who are weaker than yourself is the mark of a bad person.
It's me. I'm a real sicko. I suppose you could blame my parents, but I just can't stop doing nasty things. It's like eating peanuts.
Hey.
There you are.
It is like eating peanuts.
Willie, you imbecile.
Is it implying that you just can't have one?
Can you believe the things I have to put up with? In many ways, I'm almost a saint. I should live behind me, God rest his soul.
Her dead son, who didn't weigh 90 pounds, soaked in paving tar.
Let this happen. Don't talk to me anymore.
If you could just undo one hand. Well, we could say I did it myself. We could say a rat bit through it. We could say...
Be quiet. Oh, all right. This may not save you, but it'll sure change things.
Great idea. Cover us up, and we'll lie real still, and she won't even know we're here. And it's dark. She's old. It could work.
What is this? It's a transporter shroud. I'm not sure how it works.
Transporter shroud. Doris, does this make any sense to you?
No, it does not.
More sense than becoming
Just like this whole movie. gone. Now she's being tickled.
I hate it when Lance Sterling escapes. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But I mustn't let those feelings stay inside. At least, that's what my analyst says.
Otto, you mustn't keep those feelings inside. You need to let them out. Anger can be a very healthy thing.
And when I get angry, the thing I want to do most is destroy something.
But Otto, I didn't do anything wrong. She did.
Sweet Monique, you've been like a daughter to me. You've been with me for years, never complaining, always faithful. And this is how I repay your loyalty. Sometimes I'm disgusting even to myself. What's this, Sheena? Bye-bye, Monique.
What a monster.
Oh, that's
feels so good to get those.
It's almost like he's like Dr. Evil.
Sorry to interrupt, big guy, but Lance Sterling approaches.
To the changing coffin.
To that old changing coffin.
Is this the final character?
Please let it be the final character.
Now, where are we?
Lance,
After all said and done, I've got some theories about
don't explain anything to me.
Ernest,
Don't say a
Dr.
word.
Otto.
Now let's try to find a way out of here.
Doris,
Now, not a word.
Now we're getting
Oh,
somewhere.
yes.
Back to good old
Yeah,
civilization.
this is definitely not a trap.
Lance, wait. Lance, be careful.
Yeah, I got a lot of money. More wealth than you can possibly imagine. But I like to think I'm the same unspoiled guy dandy I was before I inherited
Guy dandy.
every dime. Yeah, I'm not the only
I love
rich
this.
person in the world. There are other rich people. I know. I gave them their money.
Also, like how Lance is like, finally, a situation I can get behind. These are my people.
But this is where Doris breaks too.
The guy dandy.
And breaks as in hits rock bottom.
Where are we?
You with me? And what better opportunity to meet me? Guy Dandy the man, not just the legend. How about a little drink, you could?
Well, sure.
Now, what we really need, Guy, is to use your phone.
What you need, Frankie, is to get up against the wall and be real quiet. Why did you do it, Frankie? We was partners. You double-crossed me. What made you think you could get away with it?
It's happening again.
Yes, it is happening again.
Now?
If you can't see that all of these characters are Otto without the costume and hand on the head, the robot dressed up in various attires would be the giveaway. Because, okay, a human is a human, but a robot. I want to go to the Rainbow Grill. I like how Willie the robot is a maid, and they all have like these phasers. Is she wearing underwear? What the hell did I watch when I was a kid?
Gloom Beam, a sweller, at the top of the Rockefeller, leave me in Manhattan.
This sequence feels like they ran out of money, location.
That's what I mean. Like, why is this taking place in just an abandoned warehouse with just garbage everywhere?
Yet Guy Dandy is the wealthiest man in the world.
Best about me. Everything. Going down.
That was wonderful. Not only was it successful, it was ruthless and completely unnecessary. Wonderful.
Yeah, a perfect description of the movie if ever there was one.
The final blast.
Yeah, ruthless and completely unnecessary.
Women and children from the planet. And if we're lucky, we could hit a few innocent bystanders.
Let me out of here!
I assume they've broken through some sort of crust into another dimension of hell? That may be where Otto's location is?
Come on. Let's get out of here.
Oh, you go on without me. I've got nothing left to give.
Hey, let's go.
Made such a mess of things. I let everybody down. I acted like such a fool. You were right about everything. I just didn't pay any attention to you.
Oh, pull yourself together. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. So you're not perfect. Big deal.
Sure.
What's with the slide guitar?
Nah, it's just like you, Doris. You're level-headed. Clear thinking, you know? You never give up. You're grace under pressure, personified.
I hate to see you like this. Hey, come on.
Oh
We're
my
a
god.
team, you and me.
Yeah. Yeah, just because we're in the bottom of this dark pit, we're gonna die a horrible death, and everybody's gonna say it was my fault that everything went wrong, and it was my fault that things went wrong, and we're gonna die this whole life.
Lance!
Oh.
Get a grip on yourself.
You hit me? I'm in the middle of a personal crisis, and you hit me.
It was for your own good.
Pain is never for your own good, Miss Doris Talbert. Yeah, sure. I made some mistakes. Sure, things could have gone better. But you didn't have to hit me.
As if you couldn't have seen this. Like, she's pretending like she's just seeing and hearing this now. Oh, yeah. Now he can straighten himself up. This shot is the entire set.
What is this? A theme park?
This is it.
Oh, great. I love rides.
This is Von Schnick's headquarters.
You may be right. The riddle said, the evil that lurks.
Sun never shines. Welcome to my side of town, Mr. Lance Sterling. It's been a long, long time.
Yeah, it sure has. Let's see, you missed our 10th reunion.
I was introducing cholera to the third world nation.
Well, it's a good excuse, but Well, everyone asked about you.
It was nice we could have this little chat before you died. Really? Kill them.
Now, Otto, don't you think that's a bit unfair? I mean, there are two of us.
You feel hurt. He's indestructible and completely immune to pain.
Doris, why don't you see if you can reason with him? You've always been very, very good at mechanical stuff.
Let's dance. Thanks, Doris.
Well, it's just you and me. Come on, fight like a man.
Correction, Mr. Sterling. That leaves you and us. It's he who gambled with his brains and a gun. What? It was he who had an eye but could not see. It was he who had all and yet had none.
Music is so simple. The score has been amazing.
Nobody messes with my transmission.
I love how it's just the what's the robot's name?
Willie.
Willie's like facial expressions, you can just see are literally just cardboard cutouts of facial.
So that's the way you want to play it, huh, Otto? Well, okay. Now the gloves come off.
Young man, they're going to make me their love slave.
That's the most outrageous thing I've ever heard. Stay back, ma'am. They'll have to come through me to get to you.
My hero.
Doris.
Well, Miss Doris, your little display was very impressive. Futile, but impressive. The Gloom Beam is now locked on Otto. There's nothing you can do. I win, you lose.
I like the pause right before he goes in. Oh, look, she's right back to her regular outfit. Jim Varney was really Jim Carrey of the 80s.
I was thinking that actually as I was watching it, that he's definitely just, I don't know, the expressions, the way he can move his face, the voices he can create. Yeah, very Jim Carrey.
Yeah, he's got that like rubber face. Like even to put your jaw out that far to get your bottom teeth above your top teeth. When he's earnest, he has perfect teeth. They're not crooked.
I must draw on the sum total of the things I've learned here on Earth. From my good breeding, my sense of style and color, excellent taste in wines. How do I decide?
You can do it, Lance. We're counting on you.
Make me proud, son.
Make me proud, son.
10, 9. How do I make this final choice?
5.
One potato.
Listen to his voice.
2 potato.
3 potato.
It's like it's like they forgot to turn off the effect for her voice, the computer, and it had processed everything. Almost.
Boy, you're really something in there. The way you went after him.
Well, I only did what had to be done. And Doris, oh, yes, you did more than your share, too.
Oh, thanks.
Let's just take note of Willie
Oh, maybe this
wearing
place will have some
Lance's
gas.
hat and scarf.
You know?
And watch this.
I bet it
This is
will.
bizarre.
Sure. Just because the last
the
12
scarf
places
moved
we've
on
been
its
to
own.
have been out of gas for months doesn't mean that this place
bizarre.
will be out.
No, we mustn't get cynical as we get older.
Can we have a fill
Why
up?
is the broom there?
We ran out of gas down the highway.
Hey, we got customers.
What's wrong, buddy? Trouble under the hood?
Well, the only trouble we have around here is we're out of gas.
Where have you been? We ain't had any gas since the money went bad. No dinero, no petro. Comprendo?
Higher, can we stay
Classic.
here?
We better go.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, girls, how about a song? If I were a carpenter and you, Doris Delvin and Tina Nelson's White Plains, you were lady.
Bye-bye, y'all. Have a nice day. Know what I mean?
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, man. I made it, man. So, that was Dr. Otto and the riddle of the Gloom Beam. So, what was the Gloom Beam exactly? I missed it.
The Gloom Beam was the magnet that was changing.
Oh,
I can't believe you're getting lost in this. The movie couldn't have been any dumber. No, it's fair. It's so... There's not much going on in the movie, and yet there's tons of holes.
So I can definitely see how, I mean, that would have been entertaining as hell for a little kid. You know what I mean? Just like wanting to, seeing something crazy, wanting to watch something crazy, and then, you know.
I was such an Ernest fan early on that, like, I loved the Ernest TV show. And Otto was one of the characters on the show. Now, he wasn't a murderous mad scientist on the show. He was a, you know, kind of a hapless science teacher, as it were. Almost. That's what it felt like. Anyway, it's just funny how things adapt and change. So Ernest, like I said earlier, the character of Ernest was created by Jim Varney, and he was to be a pitchman for products that he would be hired to sell regionally or you know, across the country. And this was his first movie, based off of the Ernest character, and then the Ernest movies start, and then the TV show starts, and then Ernest just becomes a part of a pop culture revolution. But I don't know what to really take from the ending. So Ernest takes off his hat, and the hand is there, implying that Ernest is actually one of Otto's characters. So is Otto the main character?
Well, I think maybe for, I guess, these purposes, maybe that I think he's one of Otto's characters. He has to be.
So the VHS that I have does not have the Ernest intro that we saw. So it just starts right into the Our Love Festers song. 85, Sweat Equity Incorporated. We're sorry, Elmo. If we get to film another one, we'll make it up to you. Yeah, that was something.
Thanks.